This guest on the show, I had the honor and the pleasure of working out with this morning.
Lifting some weights.
Really?
yeah.
He's kind of buff.
Well, this guy is a machine.
I just have to say, how cool is the Remax CEO that he works out with brokers and
It was
we were on the
coolest
escalator.
thing that's happened to me today.
We were on the
For
escalator yesterday, and someone's like, "Hey, let's see you at the gym."
So we have Dan Bertelson on the show, Director of Opportunities with Remax Preferred, based in southern Wisconsin. How you doing, buddy?
Very good, sir. Very good.
Have you recovered from this morning?
Somewhat.
Okay.
It's more of a sleep thing than a muscle fatigue thing.
Oh, there you go. All right. I kept you awake.
I may not work out that early when it's on my...
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
Yes, sir.
we got to start with a win, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, hey, Dan, we are going to talk about recruiting and retention here
Outstanding.
because you are the Director of Opportunities. What does Director of Opportunities mean?
It means being something different to me. It means recruiting, retention messages. We're, I guess, kind of stale. I think recruiting has become kind of a dirty word in our industry, and I think it was just a better way of saying I'm the one that has to look out for the opportunities for not only us to bring in awesome talent, but the opportunities for that talent to get to be with us.
I love that. So, this is a cool concept that we're unpacking here. It's almost like we need a bleeping button or something for when we say recruiting, right?
Yeah.
Meep.
Sorry.
Exactly.
It's not
So,
a dirty word.
yeah. Will that get our podcast kicked off of iTunes or anything?
No. Well, we're currently a safe show, so.
Oh, that's
We've not been flagged in any way, shape, or form.
instead of an E for explicit, you get an R for recruiting on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's talk about that. Let's call it opportunities.
Yeah, I think that the opportunity for agents today is a lot different than it used to be just because of the barriers to entries have changed so
Right.
dramatically in our industry. You cannot show up on the first day and fake it maybe the way you could because of, you can just Google you and find everything out we need to know. So I think recruiting for me personally has become trying to be more real. And that can be extremely difficult when you're not using, when you're only using text.
Right.
So that's where, for recruiting for me, if I do it differently, do it with video, do it with verbal, saying things you wouldn't normally say. I like calling out that I'm recruiting someone now upon initially talking to them instead of acting like I am and not talking about it. So sometimes just being really blunt and forward with the fact that I'm recruiting you makes it less of a dirty word. And it's also can be a compliment if you put it in the right context and use the right tonality when you're delivering it, I think.
I love this concept. What you've just gone through is, I hope everybody really got that because this is amazing. So you're just being transparent with people. You're being a human being, and you are attracting the type of people you want to attract to your company.
And I would add to not just the ones we want, the ones that get you, the ones that are more like you. Obviously, that's something I've been taught in this network and in this industry was to go find those people that get you because they'll follow you. It's
Right.
easier. So yeah, just easy, the easier button.
This is awesome. So this is really a unique approach to this, or a unique mindset.
I think I had to because I was getting sick of. I think everybody has that feeling in maybe in service sales, where you don't want to feel disingenuine. You don't want to feel like I'm saying this to get you to like me, so that you will listen to other things that I will say. Well, I found out if I just said it, just like I just did, and said, listen, normally I'd have to say some things over a long period of time to get you to like me, or at least make you comfortable with me. I'm just going to let you know right now I'm already saying those things, and I don't want you to feel uncomfortable because I am too. If I'm uncomfortable on this end, I can't imagine what it could possibly be for you. We don't know each other yet. So I'm not going to fake it from here on out, but we just opened my messages. I'm not going to fake it. And it's been extremely effective in my open rate. I'm getting conversations with people that have otherwise kind of shut me down in the past. And then every once in a while now too, it's given me it's given me that that boost of confidence to maybe jab somebody really hard with something that I wouldn't have normally. Maybe a good example would just be if somebody's ghosting me or not responding to me, and I'm hitting them from different mediums, and I'm really going for just a face-to-face, for instance. I'll specifically send them something now, or a funny picture of a ghost, or something like that, and then leave a message that goes something along the lines of, "Hello, Mr. Agent. Hey, it's Dan. That dude that you've been ghosting for the last 2.5 weeks. I know that you've opened this message, and this message. So at this point, you're just making me feel bad about myself." But, something like that, but just something different to get a reaction, because I'm going for an appointment the same way the agents are. I just want an appointment. I don't care how it happens. I just want the appointment.
So this is this might be an uncomfortable, unusual approach for some people.
I think I'm just as uncomfortable when I do it, which is why I just started being so blunt, because it made me feel better. And then when I told them that's why I was doing it, was to make me feel better, I'm like, please don't leave the phone call thinking I'm a selfish jerk. I'm making it more comfortable for me, and I'm letting you know up front. So if you want to go back to ghosting me for X period of time, I can just let you know when I'm going to hit you up. I have also, through videos, and this is important too, a strategy or an attitude towards this doesn't work via text, because it would come off very wrong and it would work really poorly. But through video, when you can translate the full message and everything else, then I think it's really, really effective to be able to be really real. And as far as just to cap off the being really real, it was when I started sharing my personal life with recruits directly, not out on the web, not posting out on Facebook or this or that or the other, but directly sending messages to people I was recruiting when I was doing an activity I know they enjoy, but not going on their Facebook and pretending to be friends with them when I've never even met them face to face, or congratulating them on something to do with their family. I've never met them. I don't even know I don't know their family. So I feel like there can be this giant shot of, genuinity that can be, and I think I made up a word just now, but if genuinity wasn't a word, we could all use a shot of it.
I think you've uncovered something pretty deep here, and thank you for clarifying, because I'm sitting here going, how do you text that to somebody? But you can't. I mean, you are basically providing that uncomfortable situation for them, and you're taking it on your shoulders so that they don't have to deal with the uncomfortable situation.
Well, and I think Cheplik said it on your podcast here a few weeks back about just the simple fact that they're going to see everything anyway.
Right.
If you have stuff going on at home, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing at your RE/MAX office, if agents are upset with you, manager's not jiving, all that's going to come through in your messaging anyway. So why not call out or tell them you're having a bad day when you're sending him a message, instead of sugarcoating it with something that seems really canned?
So John he talks a lot about interrupting the pattern, or pattern interrupts, which I think this is what you're doing in recruiting.
I just want it to be different, because the message of here's the solutions to your problems when it comes to real estate was coming from all angles, and it was the same channel, same volume, same everything. So yeah, I think it was just a matter of just trying to do it a little bit different.
Wow, this is really cool. Good recruiting tip there. Interrupt that pattern. Be
genuine.
Just genuine. Wear your emotions on your sleeve, and have a conversation with the people from who you really are, instead of trying to go after them with that recruiting script.
Don't be the person that you want to be on paper, because they're going to meet you eventually. Same thing with actually the people's rejection to doing video. They're going to meet you anyway. Same thing. Don't show them a message or paint a picture of some really cool, corporate person that has everything wired together, and then show up and you're not that person. I think it'd be the same thing as showing up to a house and the picture that they showed you wasn't the real picture. So
well, that's a good analogy. I think we all understand that one.
Yeah, a little house analogy.
Nice. So I've got a question for you. You're a broker. What makes a good broker in your mind?
That's a really good question. I think just to care more about other people's businesses than you do your own. because their businesses make up your business, at least in the broker-owner world. And I think what makes them the best too is, and I've noticed this more. I've only been a broker owner for 9 years, but every year I've noticed it a little more, and that is to be a little more transparent with everything that you're failing at. And I'm working really hard to be better at that, by just telling people where you've gone wrong, not where everything is going right and where everything looks awesome, but being better at explaining to your people what's not working and how you're handling it, instead of just keeping stuff under the rug. Again, bringing stuff to the surface, you know.
So just some transparency, some humility, understanding that none of us are perfect, and people want to help each other.
Agreed.
I love that. Okay. So the big question on Start With a Win.
Yes.
And I know how you started today with a win, but
Absolutely.
Daniel, how do you, as a business leader, how do you start with a win?
Well, you already hit on it with one of the other guests, but it goes around that grateful thing of the fact that our job doesn't include getting shot at, or running into burning buildings. So I think I try to, as far as starting with a win, what I've been trying to do at least the last few years is start off with something I'm extremely grateful for. And if I can't find that, I always just revert, since I'm a vet, to finding some story about a vet somewhere and sharing it with somebody else. That's how I try to start my day, or whatever, to keep me connected to that world and remind me how good I have it. But it's really usually just around the grateful thing. I'd love to say that every morning starts with working out at 5 a.m., but it doesn't. I started off, though, with promising I'd get a certain number of workouts done a week, which I sent to you about 3 years ago.
Yep.
By the way, I weighed 235 pounds then. I weigh 184 now.
Bravo, man.
And he's a little bit to do with getting back into that, too. So,
wow.
Awesome stuff.
Well, good for you. And I don't know how many people know that you're a veteran and former law enforcement officer.
Correct.
So thank you for your service to our nation and our communities.
You too. It's easy to follow. That's why I think I like also just waking up. Trying to find a different leader to follow that day is making things easier too. Instead of trying to create my own stuff.
Awesome.